Happy holidays, folks. Welcome to this holiday audit video. The material, I'm just going to get right into it. The material I'm going to look at today is from a website called lastflagstanding.com. You can see the web address right here. And I'm going to be looking at a specific document from this website that was authored by someone named Russell-J Gould. Full stop. Now, just right off the top of my head, you can see here you have a colon and then last -flag -standing period. Let's never mind this ing particle of negation. This is written with correctness in the rules of correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar. This colon represents the positional for, the lodial the, for the last flag standing, period. But then directly below it, we have a colon space documentary -film, which represents of the, which is not correct, because every correct sentence structure must start with for the in order to maintain the mathematical interface. And then we have the positional on, which is not a positional. There are 4 positionals in correct sentence structure. It's not a correct positional by the rules laid out by DAVID-WYNN Miller for correct sentence structure. Because when you go backwards, for becomes by, of becomes with. For is congruent with by, of is congruent with with. 1 and 1 is 1. One congruency, one word, one meaning, one function. The function of for is cause. The function of is concern or consequence. The function of with is possessive. The function of by is authority. What function does on serve if 1 and 1 is 1? And then going backwards, what is congruent with on? Off. So when you read this backwards, what's it become? Off the Russell-J Gould. All right. So not to get distracted here, but there are mistakes like that all over here. Let's go down to right here. Tone Setters PDF. Right off the bat, folks. What do you see here? This is indeed a 1 by 1.9 flag, but do you see the spire here? What does that mean? Army Regulations 840-10 and also videos on flag protocol by DAVID-WYNN Miller and this individual right here, Russell J. Gould. That means war, martial law, at war with the people, quote unquote. What does this say? Title IV. This is saying it's a Title IV flag, but is it though? And then it says DCC martial law flag. So this is not a correct sentence structure flag, folks. This is not a correct sentence structure flag. This is a martial law flag. So don't be surprised when you see incorrect syntaxing and incorrect grammar on this document, because it's not a correct sentence structure document. This alone, the spire, negates the flag constitution. So it's already almost a double negative. So as you can see, there's lots of mistakes. Lots of mistakes. Positional sequencing being incorrect. We're just going to keep going down through here. Remember, folks, this is not correct sentence structure by virtue of the flag. Now, this is what I wanted to get into right here. I wanted to look at this guy. See? RJ, you can't see that last one, but we can reasonably guess that that is Russell J. Gould and that Russell did these syntax values here. So let's look at it. Charter of the United Nations Preamble. Now you see he has a nations here as a pronoun, preamble here as a pronoun. The reason why is because he's basically saying that there's a break in the continuance of the evidence between nations and preamble, which I can see that. I can see that. I wouldn't say that that was wrong. But here we have two adverbs in a row, which is completely incorrect because an adverb may only modify, it only exists long enough to modify an adjective or a verb. One basic shot at modification. It cannot modify itself. So this would not be a 4134. What would this be? Charter, because it's tangible contract, would be an adjective. Of would be a pronoun. So it would be a 3-4 because pronouns can be either tangible or non-tangible contract. And for closure on what I mean by that, please feel free to avail yourself of my syntax playlist, which has anywhere from 70 to 100 free videos explaining tangibility and non-tangibility and how to determine that, how to credential that. So that would be a 3-4 and then 1-3-4. So then we move on down here. We have we the peoples of the United Nations determined. So that, now that is correct because we, non-tangible, the non-tangible, peoples, tangible, of non-tangible, the non-tangible, united, tangible, nations, tangible, determined, tangible. That's good to go. And then we have to save seceding generations from the, that is 100% correct. Scourge of War 1212, that is 100% correct. Which twice in our lifetime has. Okay, now has cannot be an adverb. Why? Because if you do your PARSE homework, if you look up the earliest nativity root meaning of has, it's tangible. It's tangible contract. So therefore you would syntax the word has as tangible contract. And the reason for this is that I laid out several years ago in cooperation with my tutor, Raven-Farhad-Toyedi-FRN, a basic groundwork of syntaxing, how these rules, meaning tangibility versus non-tangibility, fact-based versus non-fact-based, when you learn how to do that, look them up in an etymology dictionary, the particles, and find out whether they're tangible or non-tangible by these rules, everybody's syntax would be consistent across the board. There will be no question. It's not a matter of looking at a piece of paper and saying, oh, this is so-and-so's adverb list. If I see any of these words, it's going to be an adverb. No, that doesn't work. You can't do a one-size-fits-all like that. It just doesn't work. There's no closure to it other than he said so. This way you can look it up yourself, and in each situation, Rule 1 rule-equal judge mechanics would determine credential, the tangibility or non-tangibility of the word, and what syntax value you would give that word. So has is tangible contract, so it cannot be an adverb because tangible contract words would never be adverbs, just like non-tangible contract words would never be adjectives. So that would mean lifetime would become an adjective, has would be an adjective, brought, adjective, and then, yeah, the rest of it's correct. And then we have and then a big break in the continuance of the evidence, and then to. Now there are several ways you could go about this. The first way is the way that they did it here. Well, it's actually contradictory because if they're saying this is void contract, but they're also credentialing and as a conjunction, which it wouldn't be because what is the function of a conjunction? It's to serve as a bridge between what? Adverbs, verbs, adjectives, pronouns, or any of the 5 syntax scenarios. Well, as you can see there, there's quite plainly a break in the continuance of the evidence before and in the form of a comma. So and is standing by itself. So and would not be a conjunction. It would be a pronoun because it's not performing the function of a conjunction. is performing the function of a standalone pronoun. So that would not be a 0, that would be a 4. Okay? And, wow. Italic words equals void in a contract treaty. So we have for the italic hyphen words equal void in a contract and treaty dangling participle colon. Folks, we have a particle negation here, vowel in front of a consonant right here in italics. So that's a no. But let's just take the meaning of this to heart. Italic words equals void in a contract treaty. Remember that. Folks, I draw your attention, in light of the words we just read about italic words meaning no contract, void contract, I draw your attention towards the top of your screen where it says here, of the Charter of the United Nations and Constitution of the World Health Organization. You see that this is underlined, which means whatever is there would be taken as a whole. But it's written in italics. So this Russell J. Gould has purposely, with volition, used italic words in a contract, in his contract, when he says it's void contract, in his own contract. So this is not here by his own words. Charter of the United Nations and Constitution of the World Health Organization is not on the page, according to him. So this basically says, with the void corporation administration capacities of the, and then with the foreign so that's absolutely 100% no contract right there. Anyways, down here, look. Again, italics. Same thing. Now, why would Russell not want that in a contract? Why would he violate his own rules? Who knows, folks? Who knows? I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you found value in it. As you can see, you know, syntaxing can get pretty involved. And if you want to take classes and learn this stuff, you're more than welcome to reach out to me at jasonmatthewg17@gmail.com. I do have a full curriculum for you if you feel up to it, where you can learn this and use me as a tutor. I've been teaching this for almost 9 years now to hundreds of folks all over the earth. Or you can study my channel with all the free videos on here. The sum total of my correct sentence structure knowledge, free. My gift to you. Merry Christmas. I also would like to take a moment here at the end of this video to reach out, or try to reach out, to someone that I haven't spoken to in many, many years. Someone whose name is Corbus. C-O-R-B-U-S. Now, I'm not going to use, this individual has gone by other names in the past, but I'm just going to use that name, Corbus, because that's the last name that he told me that he was using. Now, he didn't give me that name. All right, he shared it with me. And so I'm sharing it. And I'm asking, Corbus, if you're out there, if you would do me the honor of contacting me at jasonmatthewg17@gmail.com, I'd like to see where you're at, what you're doing, how your story is unfolding. Because I'm familiar with your history before this. You and I were, you know, always on good terms, exchanging knowledge and things like that. And I'd just like to touch base with you and see how you're doing. I hope everybody you're well and your endeavors in whatever you're doing. And I hope you see this, whatever it is you're doing. And to everybody else out there, a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. If I don't see you again, closing out this year, thank you very much for your viewership, your subscriptions, your shares, your memberships, all that stuff. Much appreciated. Que sera, sera.